Hey everybody. I was looking at the clock and I thought I had 5 minutes and I was like, oh my gosh, it's 7:30. So I'm here. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was like, I was gonna go downstairs, get my coffee, and then actually I wanted to bring Kona here. She's downstairs because Bernadette wanted to actually see her. If you guys don't know who Kona is, she is my beautiful dog. Can you guys hear me? I see three people here. I don't see the chat. So if someone could say hi. I can't see anybody on the chat now, but I am here live finally. There, I see Shell. I see Shell. Hey, Shell. I almost came in late. I'm so sorry. I thought I had a lot of time, but I don't. Can you hear me okay? Oh, you can hear me. Okay, because I had to do a lot of fixing around because remember last live, Shell, that I the sound was good, but then when I rewatched it, the sound was like fading in and out. So I hopefully tonight the sound is going to be nice and smooth. And my background is a little bit different than last time because my background, I didn't have my painting. It was like on my table, and I decided to hang it up. But you guys probably saw it from my last live on Facebook. Hey, Kelly, you made it. Kelly, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Kaylee, you made it. You got my message. That's awesome. I was like, "Oh, I don't know what time it is because I know you're on the other side of well, not on the other side, but you're far away from Canada. So I'm glad you can make it too, Kaylee. It's so good to see you." And Bean has passed out, which is Shell's dog. Uh, he's probably snoring. You're good. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are good. So we had a super amazing time last time on the live on YouTube last time. I don't think you were here, Kaylee, at the for my YouTube live, but I did. But you were on my Facebook live, and Kaylee's an amazing writer. Her poems are so beautiful, and she sent it to me. And one day, if she allows me, I can post it, and so you guys can see it. So, but today is another day that I'm going to be talking about your inner voice. But I'm going to wait for some more people to come in so that I can start talking about it because I know that inner voice is such a crucial part of anyone's healing process, or for anybody that's going through a dark time or has anxiety or depression. It's that voice that's going on 24/7, right? And then you just have to figure out which voice is the one that you're paying attention to, right? But I'm gonna say hi. Yeah, I knew you were from Germany. 1:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh, what time do you sleep, Kaylee? You're probably like me. I don't sleep until like yesterday. I slept at like 7 in the morning, I think. I was watching TV, but when I watch TV, I also do my work at the same time. So I know what it's like. Tina, hey Tina, how are you doing? Good evening to you too. Where are you from, Tina? Bernadette, hey, glad you can come. Oh my gosh. You know what? Give me 1 second. Rowan, Aiden. Sorry, I really want you to see. I told Bernadette that I was going to bring Kona, so I'm going to try to get her. So you're very, very welcome, Kaylee. I'm so glad that you came here. So how was your weekend, everyone? I've been receiving a lot of messages on my Facebook, and there have been a lot of people that have been going through a very, very tough time. They've either like lost someone really close to them in their family, or they're just dealing with so many things, and it's just really tough. I can even see it by reading some of the posts, the comments from some of the quotes that I've left, in the past couple of days. And people, I can feel it. I can feel people's energy, and I can see that a lot of people are just not, have so much to deal with, and they just don't know where to go from there. And especially with the whole war going on down in Israel. It just sometimes we look at that and we tell ourselves, where is our world heading? What is going to happen to everything in the future? It just seems everything seems like there's more dark than there is light, right? It just seems like it, and that's going to affect the way we think, right? Whether we just read something for a short while, or watch something on TV for a short while, but we absorb that, right? And that's going to affect the way you think, right? So that's why I want to talk about your inner voice today, because it's really, really important to really tune in and to focus on what are those thoughts that are going to be the ones that you want to that are going to make sense to you, like especially if you're looking to become you know, that if you're working on a better version of yourself, and if you want to find your happiness, right? Those thoughts that you're listening to are going to be very crucial for that process, right? So the picture behind you is so beautiful. Thank you so much. You know, I had this owl painting for like the longest time. I didn't know where to put it. We were renovating my son's room, and then he wasn't using it. So I was like, I need to put something back here. And this owl is just, I love owls, man. So I put it up, and now, it looks more complete, you know. Sharda, hey Sharda, hi, first time seeing you, but always look forward to your quote. Thank you so much, Sharda, for joining. Especially my YouTube lives. I did do one last week, and we had such a great time because the crowd here is smaller. And if you have any questions, like Esmeralda's here. Hi, Esmeralda. I'm here watching your live. Thank you so much, Esmeralda, for joining. You were here last time, right, Esmeralda? I don't. Sai just came in. Hey, Sai, you made it. Good morning, and Sai, I love you so much. Tina, you're very, very welcome. Sai's it was her birthday, by the way, October the 11th. So happy belated birthday to Sai. She is one of the most beautiful and most loving person that I know. Uh, see, Michelle, Sai. She is such a beautiful person. So I really want to bring Kona. If you guys give me like 15 seconds, I'm gonna go grab her because I know Bernadette will really want to see her. I posted a picture of Kona on my IG the other day, and she fell in love with her. So Bernadette, okay, yes, I remember. I remember, Esma. I will always remember you. I'm gonna disappear for like 20 seconds because I'm gonna grab Kona. Okay, so bear with me. If anybody's like comes in the chat and says, "Where's Roger?" Tell them that I'm grabbing my dog. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Where's Kona? Oh, you're watching live? Here on stick. Okay, guys, I'm back. All right, I'm back. All right, guys. So my son, this is Kona Lee. She she's a half Pomeranian, half Yorkie. So she's a Yorkie Pom. And since Halloween is coming really close soon, she has a shark outfit. It has like where I think there's oh, it's all backwards. There's her eyes. It's Sharkona. Sharkona. Kona, say hi. Kona, say hi. Where's mommy? Where's mommy? So Kona, some of you may have not seen her before, but I talk about her a lot. It's because she made a huge difference in my life, especially that time when I don't even think I was healing myself at that time. But we had my wife and my daughters were talking about getting a dog, and you probably heard this story before. And I was so angry. I was like, why are you buying a dog when you can't even take care of me? I couldn't even take care of myself. So I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to take care of a dog. Right. But when she walked into my house for the first time when she was a little puppy, I think she's 6 years old now. She changed my life. She changed my perspective on everything, because I lost the sense of loving myself. I lost the sense of what love was. I lost the sense of unconditional love. And Kona here, even though she's so small, she brought that, and she basically mended our family back together. She was a big part of it. A lot of it had to do with me healing myself, right? Realizing that there was one way that I can actually put my family back together, because at that time my family was falling apart, right? So the love that she gave me, I used it for myself. And then as I was loving myself, and as she was here with the family, things started to see, I started to see brighter days. It started to make me realize that, sometimes you have to do something to make changes, right? And some of these changes that we do may be small at first, right? They look like they're small, insignificant, but they make big changes, right? Like, whoever thought that by bringing a dog into your family can create so much happiness and so much love, right? And oops, sorry. And Kona was able to do it, right, Kona? I think she's ready for Halloween. Are you ready for Halloween, Bernadette? Hi, Kona. It's good to see you as our guest of honor. So cute. There you go. She's like, "What's going on?" Esmeralda says, "Nice looking dog." Actually, they're very good pets to have. They are, it's just it's crazy, right? Like they just have to only look at you, and you can already feel the love that they give, right? I love. She sleeps with me at nighttime, and we have a lot of kids in the house, but she's like our sixth child. So, oh, Kona, do you want to go now? Okay, Kona, you want to go say bye? Bye, everybody. Are you ready? Okay. Mm, mwah. Okay, go. Okay. So, okay, I missed a bunch of chatter. Roger, you saw Bean in his dinosaur costume video? I think, yeah, I did. I think I saw that. I think I saw that. Bean is so funny. Bean is Shell's dog, but Bean's like half the size of Kona, right? Kona's just sitting there, but he's so cute. Um, Natalie, Natalie, you made it. You got my message. So if you were here last week, Natalie was busy baking a casserole, and we were all waiting for that photo. I can't upload the photo here, but I do have it on my phone, so I'm gonna show it to you guys because we were all agree. And like Natalie wanted to show us her casserole, right? Right, Natalie, and she showed me the photo, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so hungry that night because I didn't eat yet. So when she showed it to me, I was like, I am so hungry and I wish I was there because I want to eat it. So, oh, Kenya. So Natalie, I'm gonna show everyone your casserole. It's on my phone. Okay. Um, Kenya. Hey Kenya, you made it. Glad you can join. Yeah, so that's Kona. If you guys didn't know, she is my angel. She was there for me during a very very dark time, and she every single day, she makes sure it's weird. Like she'll go to each and everybody's room just to say hi. It's weird. I don't see her as like an animal. I honestly see her as like another human being or maybe an angel, because she really was like this angel that came into my life and helped me get out of this very very dark time in my life, right? So haha. Oh, here we go. Going, this is Natalie. Sorry, going to make everyone hungrier. Yes. And Natalie also showed me a picture of the steak that she made with her father. Oh my gosh, Natalie, you just make me hungry all the time, but that's okay because I love food. Okay, so we're gonna, but before I'm gonna show the picture later, Natalie. But today's quote that I'm gonna talk about, you've probably seen it before. I just posted it on Threads today. And I was actually going to talk about a different quote, but because I posted on Threads, I was like, maybe this is something that people needed to hear. Because again, as I was talking about earlier, a lot of people are dealing with a lot of different things, and those things are not always something that is gonna make you happy or are gonna think that you can have a better days because we as human beings we go through a lot of things, and then the more that we have to deal with, the more anxious we get, and the more we kind of fear of what's going to happen to us in the future, right? Especially if you're listening to the news all the time and you're paying attention to the war that's happening, and it just makes you feel that like first we had to go through the pandemic and that was horrible, right? But now it's another thing, right? There's always, like I said, life is always going to throw something, and it's going to be unexpected. There's a lot of things that are going to be unexpected, right? So sorry Kenya, cooking is a great skill to obtain and it makes me happy. Sharing it with everyone, it might inspire them to try stuff. Roger, you're explaining how I'm feeling. Am I really? Okay, well, I'm glad you joined because I'm going to be talking about that inner voice. So I'm going to read this quote because I haven't memorized it because I write so many quotes. I did, however, it's behind me. I printed it out like I usual on the series inside the mind of RLQ. So I'm just gonna read it to you, but you probably have read it already, or you know about it. Is my voice okay, guys? You can hear me okay? Jennifer, you made it. Hi, Roger. How are you today? Did you got my message on IG, Jennifer? I think you did. I'm so glad you joined. You just I was just talking about Natalie because you were here last week, and Natalie had this casserole. I'm gonna show the photo to you guys later. She's amazing. She's an amazing chef. She can cook anything, I think. All right. So this quote, okay, guys, pay attention. When you start paying attention to that inner voice telling you that everything is going to be okay, it is a sign that you are starting to believe that good things are coming your way. Okay, so some of you may be thinking of that. Some of you may have those little thoughts, that little voice, that little voice that you hear sometimes. And sometimes it sounds like a little whisper, right? Almost like you know you're strong, but then there's so much happening in your life, you don't feel strong at all. You actually feel weak. right? And then you start paying attention to that voice telling you that life is going to be horrible, that your day is going to be horrible, that there's no point of thinking about positive things when everything in your life is going bad, right? But there is that little voice inside of you. It's always there. That's going to remind you, like, don't lose hope, you know, look forward to, tomorrow, look forward to your future. There is so much out there, but it's so faint. Why is that? Why is that voice so hard to hear? Why is it so hard for us to just continue to listen to that voice that is telling us to stay strong, that everything is going to be okay? It's because we are too focused on worrying. We're too focused about the negative things that are happening around us. And it is at that moment, if your mindset is not strong enough, you tend to start to believe in those things that are telling you the bad things, right? And that's why that voice that's telling you that everything is going to be okay, and that that you're strong and that you should believe in yourself, it's like a whisper, right? So the reason why I wrote this quote, it made me think before I started writing this quote. It made me think about what I was thinking about that during those times when I was lying on the couch crying all day, put myself in a little corner, curled up myself in a little ball. What were the things that I was thinking about? The things that I was thinking about was that voice. It was so strong. Okay, when you have anxiety and depression, there's this voice that is someone that's not. You won't even recognize this thing, that's this entity that's in your mind that's telling you all these bad things. Okay, it doesn't even feel like it's you, even though you think it's you, because it is you, it's coming from your mind, right? But I looked at it as like it was some stranger that kicked the door of my house open, stepped inside, and started yelling at me with all these things like, Roger, you're never going to heal yourself. Just give up right now. Why even bother looking for something? Why even bother to tell yourself that you're going to be happy in the future when it's not going to happen? Right? You're not going to be successful. You're not going to be this. People hate you. You should hate people. You should hate the world. All these things. And I listen to that every single day, like constantly. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna go to chat. Life and Journey. Hello, everyone. Good morning from the Philippines, and that's from Life and Journey. Hi, how are you doing? Kenya, love to cook as well, but right now talking about food is making me hungry. You know what? I ate something. My mom made me spaghetti, delicious by the way, and I am full right now. But as this chat's gonna go on, and we're gonna be talking about food. I know Natalie's gonna make me hungry. I'm gonna be super hungry. I'm so glad, Natalie, you cooked and it turned out great. Roger, I recommend a book to everyone. It's called The Shift Change Your Perspective, Not Yourself by Tinks. I'm going to start reading as well, watching your YouTube videos. Oh, sweet. Can you actually post that link, Natalie? I'm not sure if you can put a link, but if you can, please put that down, because I'm sure I'm not a person that reads a lot of books, but like if it's something that is going to change your mindset or something that's positive, I don't mind reading any of that, because like again, anything that your mind is like a sponge, right? So depending on what you read or watch or whatever, it's going to affect the way you think, right? So thank you so much, Natalie, for sharing that. Esmeralda, love your sweatshirt. Thank you. Just do it. Just just do it. Like read the book, you know, start learning how to cook. I need to learn how to cook. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this the inner voice, right? And why I wrote that was because I knew that my life was not going anywhere, right? And that's why my anxiety and depression started to get worse, right? And where my motto comes from, your mind matters. It comes from the thought of which voice am I listening to? The voice, because it is like I say, your mind. Everything starts from the mind, right? And then it becomes a reality for yourself, right? So I started to really go into my mind and start dissecting it, and trying to figure out, okay, Roger, why are you feeling this way, right? Sit down, take a deep breath, and just look at your thoughts. Okay, like today, what am I thinking about? And why am I thinking about that? Right. So obviously, you guys know that I had a concussion, right? And this concussion really screwed me up, because it left me with so many symptoms, and I thought that they were going to be permanent, right? So that's why I had to go see a chiropractor, because I was hoping that he would help me, and he was going to, but my anxiety and depression got so bad I couldn't see him anymore, right? And that got me more anxious, right? So these symptoms, this that's tingling sensation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like when you're sitting down for a long time, your leg falls asleep. That was like on my head, all right, and it spread all over my body, and my arms would fall asleep and my legs would fall asleep, and I just thought that I was just gonna have this for the rest of my life, right? And especially when you have health problems, that is like definitely gonna cause anxiety, all right, because you're just so concerned about your health and you're just worried that you're never going to be normal again, right? And that's obviously going to affect the way you think. So I just started to go in, and I told myself, like, the one of the ones that I hated listening to the most was that I wasn't ever going to heal myself, that I was never going to be happy again, right? And that stuck with me every single day, right? But then I remembered that, because my mom was there with me every single day and taking care of me. She was just always reminding me about my strength, right? She went through a lot of difficult times, as she was growing up, right? You know how, with the war and everything when she was younger, and how her father, my grandfather, lost everything, right? And my mom had to leave the country, and it was just horrible, horrible times. So, I look back at what my mom went through, how she was able to overcome that, start a family here in Canada, and become very successful in Canada, and at the same time raise her kids very well. Right. So that's why I look at my mom, and she's like, she's my number one inspiration, because I always look at her strength. And even when she was taking care of me during when I was the time when I was at my weakest, she never gave up on me. She was there for me 24/7. She took care of me, and I'll always remember that, right? So I looked at that and I said, I need to start listening to that voice that's telling me that everything's going to be okay, right? And the more I pay attention to that voice, if I listen to that voice more frequently than I do that voice that's telling me that, you know, that I'm never going to heal myself, or I'm always going to be on this couch and I'm going to be taking 4 pills a day, then maybe, whatever thought I'm listening to, that's the reality that's going to be created for me, right? So I started to listen more on that voice that's telling me that everything's going to be okay. And guess what, guys? It worked, right? But it did. It's hard when you are going through some sort of depression or anxiety, or there's so much happening in your world and it feels so dark. And, even that little voice that's telling you, to stay strong, it's there, but you just don't have time to think about or listen to that voice, because you're so focused on all the other things that you have to worry about, right? And it just makes sense, because there's more of the bad stuff than there is the good stuff, right? So you tend to be like, okay, well, I have to deal with this first before I can even start thinking about trying to become, just try to think positively, right? But those things can change, right? It's up to you. This is where, when you have to start really put your foot down and say, you know what, I'm tired of listening to all these things that are telling me that everything is not going to be okay. I need to start paying attention to the things that are that's telling me that, I don't know how what's going to happen in the future. I have no idea, right? I have to stop creating my future, a negative world that I don't want to be a part of. This is what you're doing when you're thinking negatively all day, right? However, if you switch it around and you start painting that picture like I talk about, like you have this vision of yourself being happy again. You have this vision of you succeeding in a lot of things, right? And then you start creating all these opportunities for yourself, so that you can start, there's like these paths that you open up for yourselves, right? That's going to happen if you continuously picture that in your head, right? Missing some chat. Natalie, I feel that too. Esmeralda, I always enjoy seeing your lives and everything you share. They're the bomb. You're the bomb, Sir Roger Lee. Thank you so much, Esmeralda. That's so sweet. Yeah, I enjoy you guys to coming on my show too. I mean, all my lives, and just for me to be here and you listening to me talk, especially if you're going through something really difficult right now, and it's just like you just can't get your mind straight. At least you can come here, right? And you have someone to talk to, right? Some it's like when I was dealing with going through my healing process, I cut myself away off of everything, social media, TV, phone calls, everything, and I locked myself. It's like I put myself in this dungeon, and I put this do not disturb me forever sign, right? And I didn't want to talk to anybody. and that made me felt more alone, right? But once I decided that, hey, you know what? I shouldn't be shutting myself out from the world, right? I need help, right? But I didn't open those doors until I started to, oops, sorry, I started to use the time on a daily basis to focus on myself first. Okay, that is the most important thing because any if you might, some of you might be dealing with it right now, that you don't want to go outside, you don't want to talk to anybody, you just feel like you just want to deal with everything by yourself, or you could be ashamed of yourself or embarrassed that you have this anxiety or depression, you don't want anyone to know, right? And that's okay because that's just part of that process, right? I understand that now, that I had to go through that, because the more alone I felt, like I put myself in this corner, and the more I did that, the darker my world became. But it did come to a point where I realized that, hey, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being in this dark, dark place. I want to see the light. I want to start healing myself. I want to find my happiness. And I said, that's it. Every single day, I'm going to start working on myself until I get better. Right. So if you're in a dark situation right now, or you feel like you're alone and you don't want to talk to anyone, it's okay, because there is going to be a point in your life, could be soon, it could be in a month or two or whatever, you are going to have that same realization for yourself, that you are sick and tired of living your day, living like this every single day, because you want to see changes, right? I looked at my life like, I don't know how long I have left, right? But I do have this one life, right? I do not want to live my the rest of my life living in this darkness. There's no way I am going to let this darkness beat me, right? Because I know that I am strong enough, and I know I have, every single day I can make choices. I can make I don't have to listen to that voice anymore, that inner voice that I'm talking about today, that's ruining my life. That's telling me that I'm useless, that I'm weak, that I can't do this, I can't do that, I'll never be successful, I'll never, like all those things. And and the more, because the more you listen to that voice, you are literally harming yourself, right? You are this painting this dark forest for yourself to enter into. And it could be this maze that you can get lost in, right? So that's why you have to really, really picture yourself in this very, very bright place. Could be a field with sunshine and clouds, with rainbows all over the place, with birds chirping. Just close your eyes and picture that. Picture yourself in this field, and you're free of all that darkness. And picture that every single day. And watch your world start changing, because it's your belief system, right? If you watched my live on Facebook the other day, I talked about that, right? And it's going to make a difference, because it's all about manifesting, right? What are you thinking about the most, right? And because what you're thinking about the most and what you believe in the most is going to, most probably become your reality, right? And my reality was a very dark world, because I kept thinking how bad my life was, and how that I was never going to heal myself. Roger, you're never going to heal yourself. There's no point taking those steps, because you're just going to be in the same spot every single day. And I kept listening to that, and guess what? That's why my panic attacks came, because I couldn't stop thinking about that my life was over, right? Okay, so God is good, brought you into my life. So, oh, that's so sweet. God is so good. He brought you into my life. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm here for you guys, to hold your hand and be here for a part, to be in part of your journey, right? Joanne, hey Joanne, made it. You made it, Joanne. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. Don't worry if you came in a little late. I just started talking about, your inner voice not too long ago. But Natalie, yes, he is the bomb. Thank you so much, Natalie. Thank you so much. Jennifer, I am trying to find my strength and positivity in a huge way. It is needed. Need that light in my life. I know my light is there, but I need a beautiful beach and the sun and just listening to waves. Oh my gosh, you know what? That just stick with that image, Jennifer, because if you think wake up in the morning, and I want you to picture it. Before you go to bed, I want you to picture it. All right, because the more you think about that, maybe you're not going to be in that beach in like a month or two, right? But the more you think about it, who knows? Maybe in half a year, you'll be on that beach and you'll be like, I can't believe I'm sitting here listening to the waves. It's just like it's like I dreamt about it, but now I'm here, right? It's almost like when I started writing quotes, when I thought that it was such a stupid idea, because I didn't know how to write. I was so scared to publish my work because I was afraid that people were going to attack me because they were like, oh, this doesn't make any sense and blah blah blah. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I hesitated because I had fear, you know, but I thought about, you know, why, like, the reason why I worked so hard to heal myself was because I wanted to share my story if I were to heal myself. And by creating my quotes, it was a way for me to help people, right? So the more I believed in myself and the more I thought about my quotes, right, and people responding into it, and I started picturing people smiling and crying, and releasing tears of happiness instead of sadness. That's when and it just started to become my reality, right? And even like, before I started writing quotes, I actually wanted to create a YouTube channel, right? So I would could do lives and all this kind of stuff, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't. I needed practice. I've done many lives, I've done many videos to be able to be speaking to you today, speaking the way I am. If you watch my first video ever that I filmed, it's on my Facebook page. If you could find it somewhere, I even look back at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I look so scared. Like I couldn't even look at the camera and I couldn't talk. And it was just like you could see there was a huge transit, like it's a big difference, right? So it's practice makes perfect, right? You have to start off small before something gets big. Everything starts off hard before it becomes easy, right? So you have to, remind yourself about these things, like if you're working on something and the first month passes by and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fail at this, right? Because it always happens, I'm never going to be successful or whatever. You stop there, but you can't stop because if you stop, you're never going to know if you're ever going to be successful. So if you want to be successful, you just have to keep going, even though you fail, because failure is a part of the whole process of being successful. It's a chapter of that success that you're searching for so hard. You need to work every single day, and you have to believe in yourself, even though if you hit a rock or a mountain, right? It's meant to be there because it's telling you that you're not doing something right. You need to fix it. And if you can fix that, then you can hurdle over this rock until another one comes, and then you hurdle over that. And as you keep doing that, one day you're gonna be on top of that mountain. And life is like that exactly. When life throws you something unexpectedly, and you're like, "What the heck?" I like, everything was going so smooth, and now I have to go through this. Like, why? Why do I have to? Why do I have to go through that? I didn't ask for it, right? I didn't ask for myself to slip on a black ice, hit the back of my head with a concussion and deal with anxiety and depression for like almost 3 years. I didn't ask for that. But then I look at that now. It was tough to make it to say, I kept asking God, why me? Why me? I'm such a good person. Why did this happen to me? But I had to go through that. I had to go through that to learn about myself, most importantly, to learn how to love myself, to learn about life, to learn about, how much, you know, um, kindness and love and sharing, like letting people know that there are good people in the world, letting people know that there are people out there that are willing to help others, right? Instead of sometimes you look around and you're like, man, the world is so evil. There's like everywhere I go to, people are so mean. And like, what is the point of actually, being nice to people when they're not going to be nice back to you or whatever the case may be, right? But as long as if there's an example of a very, very decent human being out there that can show you and that they're compassionate and they have empathy and they're loving and kind to others, then it gives you a little bit of hope, right? That maybe this world is a beautiful place, and I just have my perspective about this world is just entirely wrong, right? And so I have to thank my mother for raising me up the way she did, because my mother is exactly like me. I learned it from her. Right? She's like the most loving person I know. She just cares about everybody, and she always thinks about other people before she thinks about herself, But I'm like, "Mom, you gotta take care of yourself too, right? I know you love people, but, you have to love yourself too, right?" So, okay, I'm gonna go to chat. So sorry. Oh my god. How do you change your perspective and have less fears? I'm gonna get to that, Natalie. I definitely, because I had to go through that with changing perspective, okay? It's tough. It's tough, but it's totally doable. Jennifer, no panic attacks for me. Jennifer, no panic attacks. Oh man, panic attacks were they were so hard. Like there were so many times I had a panic attack and my face be literally like planted on the floor, and I'd blink a couple of times and I was like, how many more blinks before I am actually gone? Like I thought I wasn't gonna make it that day, right? But that's me thinking that it was that bad, guys. That's when I had to start to take my medication because the only way that I could stop my panic attacks from happening was to actually take my medication, right? But again, that panic, like taking that kind of medication, I was so dependent on it that I thought I was going to take it for the rest of my life. But you know, that's why I talk about how your mind is so powerful. Because when I started to strengthen my mindset, I had the courage and guts to tell myself that Roger, you don't need to take this medication anymore. Well, one day you don't have to. So I started to wean off with it, and now I haven't taken the one. I've been medication free for now I think it's coming up to 4 years now, right? I don't need it because my mind has been, like, reprogrammed to I talk about changing mindset, but that's another story. I'll talk about it more because I'm gonna go to the questions here. Thanks, Natalie. I have a wish list of places to visit. Jennifer, I have a huge wish list to go to. It's huge, and you guys know I talk about how I wanna visit, like, all these different places, but hopefully one day I'll be able to do it because I do wanna do public speaking, I do wanna meet people, I wanna actually hug you in person and talk to you in person and all those wonderful things, so my wish list is huge. Farhana, you made it! Farhana. Don't worry, you didn't miss a lot, and remember, you can always go back and watch my YouTube live stream when you have the chance, Farhana. Glad you could join. Jennifer, one step at a time, one day at a time. I love that. I have that on my phone. I mean, I have on one of my phone cases. Uh, yeah, that I love saying that because it's true. Just taking that one step, taking that one breath. It's all about patience. I learned so much about patience, and that is such a really great thing to learn because and it's so hard nowadays because thank you Amazon for introducing free 1 day shipping. But like that, it's like we just expect things to happen like tomorrow, right? It's like we just don't have that kind of patience anymore, but that patience is so important, especially if you're going through tough times in your life, right? it makes you it reminds you to just remember that it's not might not happen tomorrow, might not happen next week, might not happen next month, but as long as you're taking steps every single day, you're still there's still progress involved, even though there's a step. Even though you're taking a step, even though it doesn't feel like it, right? I mean, I had to take those little steps every single day, and I came from being rock bottom. I was at rock bottom, right? And I took those little steps, and I was still managed to get to where I am today, right? It took years, right, from day one when I slipped and hit my head to today, where I'm talking live on my YouTube channel to all of you guys, right? But it still has patience played a huge role, right? Uh, I did what that. I went to Cali for 4 days and went on the beach. I hope you get to see this beach soon. Set up this goal. You got this, Jennifer. Natalie has such an amazing presence. Like your vibes are so amazing, Natalie. You're amazing, Natalie. So that's what I'm talking about, right? People, they just love to talk to people and cheer them up and stuff like that. And I think that it's so important. And everyone here in this chat right now, you guys are so amazing. I hope you're receiving this positive energy because this positive energy that we're all sharing with each other is going to affect you some way or somehow, right? Even when I'm done with this live stream, you will still feel a little bit of it, right? And it can remind you that good times can happen. You can smile, you can be happy again, all that stuff. Remember this, okay? Remember that because it's really tough when you're alone and you've put the world away from you. And again, it's okay to be alone because it's a healing. It could be a healing time for you, right? To be alone, to figure out, to discover who you are. I spent a lot of time being alone to finally discover who I actually am, right? So I am grateful for that. But there is going to be a point in time where you're going to be able to open up and allow other people to come back into your life so that you can start communicating with them and start sharing, have conversations with them, to get things started going for yourself again. And, I'm glad my lives, we're here together tonight so we can all talk and chat. That's why I love my YouTube lives because we could just chat here. My Facebook lives are much different because with the chat's going so fast, I can't really keep track of who's talking stuff, but I try my best. So I'm gonna focus on the chat. um, Also, you can become that loving person yourself by being kind to others. That is so true, Natalie. Self care is important from Jennifer. It is so important. It is like Loving yourself and self-care is I would put that on the top of my list because it is, but the reason why I say focus is number 1 is because you need to clear your mind before you can start to really fully learn how to love yourself and start taking care of yourself, right? So I put focus number 1 and then loving yourself and self-care as number 2, even though loving yourself should be number 1, but it's the steps involved, right? My like when I started to go back and figure out how I healed myself, right? I had to basically find out, okay, before I start loving myself, what made me start, you know, start thinking about doing all these things, like doing things that brought me joy and happiness. What was the cause of that? Why did I all of a sudden started to really believe in that self-care was so important? Because my mind was clear. I didn't have to focus on those inner voices, that inner voice that was telling me that my life was horrible, that I was never going to heal myself. I had to fix that first, right? I had to basically put aside all those negative thoughts, shove them into this filing cabinet, close it, lock it for good. Well, maybe not for good because some of those thoughts are still going to come out, right? But I created this new cabinet of all positive things, right? And every time I thought of something positive, I would put it into this file cabinet and have the drawers open for me so I could pull them out whenever I want as my negative file folder cabinet was locked and closed and sealed away and put away in the dark corner that I was hiding in for the longest time. Right. I can now start focusing on what I can do to my life to start making it better. What can I start challenging myself with? What can I start new things? I know Natalie was just started learning how to, was it play the piano? I think you said, Natalie. And I know cooking is probably one of the new thing too, right? And I was telling her that I want to start learning how to cook too because I think I talk about food all the time. Makes me want to cook. But you understand what I'm talking about, right? It's where like you need to reorganize your thoughts, right? Because those are the thoughts that are creating this future that you're worried about, right? And I say this a lot in my lives about how when was thinking about all the I was worrying so much about my symptoms from my concussion that I was gonna have it for the rest. I had veins on my arm, and it was like you could see them, right? We can't see them now, but only when I work out. But it was there, and I had them on my forehead, and I was telling my chiropractor, I think I got this, right? I think I'm gonna have this for the rest of my life, and he's like, Roger, you don't have it. Trust me, right? I was like, he's like, stop looking at YouTube videos at the wrong things, right? And I was doing that, and so when I said, okay, you're right, all right, to my chiropractor, I just got to stop doing that because I'm just making myself more anxious and more worried. So I had to stop doing that, and it worked, right? I started to pick and choose what I wanted to watch, right? Try to find that's when I started to like look on Instagram and Facebook for motivational speakers and people that were inspirational to others, and to help people. And then as I was listening to them, I was like, one day I want to be like one of them. I want to go out and I want to help people, right? Um, Kenya, there is a connection, a lot of support here with Jennifer, and even throughout everyone. There is. That's why, yeah, you're right, Kenya, and hopefully that my YouTube lives will grow as I do more. But sometimes this small group is very helpful because we can focus on this chat, we can focus on each other. At the same time, we can also tell ourselves that, hey, you know what? There are so many beautiful people in this world, and I love it, right? It reminds me of a time when I actually hated people when I was going through my anxiety and depression because at first I hated myself, right? And that didn't help me because I hated the world. And again, going back to your question, Natalie, about perspective, right? My perspective changed because of how I was looking at myself, right? Because I started hating myself, I started hating the world. I started to hate people. This hate energy was creating my perspective on everything, right? And that's why hate is so strong, especially when you have anxiety or depression. It's so strong. It's something that sometimes I feel it, like it's still there. Like I'm like like someone asked me a question on a Q&A on Facebook the other day about does anxiety ever go away? And my answer to that question was like, I don't think it's 100% ever going to go away. Everybody, it's just part of human nature for us to have that emotion, like to have that in us to be anxious, right? So, but it's even you can, however, like I said about the filing cabinet, locking it away and putting it away so you can focus more on the good stuff. You can do that because you do have that control. But sometimes that darkness seeps through that file cabinet and somehow finds a way to say, "Hello, remember me? I'm that one that's telling you your life is bad and all that dark stuff." It's there. It'll sometimes be there, but I mean, like, if you already have a strong mindset, you will listen to it, but you won't pay attention to it. And then you just put it back in the file cabinet and you lock it away again, right? So when I started to love myself, when I started to take care of myself, you know, that's when my perspective changed, right? Because I started to feel loved. I started to remember what it was like to be happy again. I started to remember what it was like because I started to see a difference when I started to love myself. My environment changed. I saw my mom smiling again. My kids start talking to me again. Everything started to change. And as I started to see change, now change is important too, right? When you start to see positive changes, your perspective is going to change, right? And then when I start to see that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I think I'm starting to see the light, right? I started as I was listening to that voice that was telling me everything was going to go be okay. The more I listened to it, the more my world started to become brighter. The more I started to see that everything was going that it were there was going to be a possibility that I was going to finally be healed and that I wouldn't have to take that medication anymore, and I can start getting back to where moving on with my life, right? And I talk about how I used to chase that version of myself before my accident, before I had anxiety and depression, because I thought that was the Roger that I should be, right? But as I was training myself and teaching myself how to love myself and working on myself to get better every single day, I started to believe that that is not the Roger I should be focusing on. The Roger that I should be focusing on is the better version of Roger, and how far I can go with my life. How great can I become? Right. And I always talk and I talk about this too, right? Like you are only a fraction of who you can become. Right. So if there was this scale of 1 to 10 and maybe you're like a 3, you still have a lot more to go. Right. So what are you doing every single day? If your mission and your goal is to become a better version of yourself, what are you going to every single day to make that happen for yourself? Right. Like before I go to bed, I ask myself, Roger, did you do enough today? Right. And so I go back and through my whole day, I list out all the things in my head of all the things that I did. And I tell myself, yeah, I think I did. I did this, I did that. And I felt like I achieved, accomplished something. Right. Right. So I think you should try this exercise. Ask yourself tonight before you go to bed and say, did I do enough today? Did I do enough for me so that tomorrow is going to be better? It's going to be better. Am I going to be better tomorrow than I was today? Right. Even if you did one small thing, it can still make a difference for yourself. Right. Regine, good morning. Hi, glad you can join. Oh my gosh, I'm missing a whole bunch here. I'm so sorry. And I'm talking so much. Kaylee's still here. I'm alone for myself most of the time. To be with other people stresses me so much. I'm used to it. And sometimes, you will get used to it, right? Because you start creating this comfort zone for yourself, right? So when I put myself in, when I was alone, I thought it was fine because I was telling myself, okay, Roger. At first I didn't think it was fine because I was like, I feel so lonely. Right. But then I realized for myself that this is something that I need to do for myself. This is when I started to heal myself, right? I said the only way that I'm going to be able to figure out what's going on in here is if I have the time alone for myself to discover what I need to do to start fixing up here and fixing my life, right? What are the things that I need to do? Right. And that's why I talk about my basement story a lot because that basement story changed my whole life, basically. That basically paved the path for me to get going, to start doing the things I always wanted to do, but I stopped doing it because I was so scared to. I had all these fears, like especially like working out and because of my symptoms, my concussion. I thought I wasn't ever gonna, lift weights anymore. So I stopped. But then I said, you know what? Screw it. Right? Like the only way if I'm gonna find out if I can start lifting weights again is if I try. The only way to know if I like I wanted my happiness so bad. That's why I said, screw it. I'm just gonna do it. Oh wait, just do it. This is what I was thinking about every single day. This is I use this every single day. And it helped me so much because it made me realize that Roger, you are not weak. Roger, you do have strength. Roger, you can do this. Stop telling yourself that you can't. Stop telling yourself that you can't accomplish anything. Because after I finished cleaning up that basement, guess what? I felt like Superman. I felt like I could do anything, right? It took me 10 and a half hours a day for 3.5 weeks, almost a month. I filled 36 garbage bagfuls of junk. I did that all by myself, right? And if I could do that physically to a basement, I could probably use that same strategy on my mind and tackle my mind and clean that crap out so that I could start living a better life, right? And it worked, right? I was able to like basically, you know, go through all my negative thoughts and I just pushed it away out of my life, right? So that I can start focusing on that inner voice that's telling me that everything's going to be okay, that that I'm going to heal myself, that don't worry, Roger, that one day, you will stop taking this medication that's driving you insane, right? It became my reality, right? For Hana, what's your passing time hobby, Roger? Okay, well, singing. You guys know I love to sing. That's why I this mic. So I sing while I work. One day, like again, I'm gonna sing. That Christmas when Christmas comes, I'm gonna sing you guys Christmas carols. How's that? The RLQ concert. Roger's gonna sing Christmas carols for you guys. And maybe some more. I don't know. I'm still practicing. Like I just love singing. Natalie, I noticed today at the gym, I saw a guy I used to hang out with, but when we stopped talking and I thought he was avoiding me, didn't like me, but instead of thinking that, I went up and talked to him. And how did that conversation go? Oh, instead, and things went well. It's perspective. You're right. I'm back. Thank you. Oh, saw you're back. I must have missed the chat when we said you were gone. And yeah, sometimes Natalie, it is totally about perspective, right? And especially when it's with somebody like that person that you bumped in today, and you're just like, he probably doesn't want to talk to me because we had a bad past or whatever. But things change. His life might have changed during that time. Your life might have changed during that time since you last spoke. So I'm glad you took that step and you said, you know what, I'm going to go talk to him and see how things go. You just never know, right? And that's going to happen with you, with the way you think about in your mind with your life. There's a whole bunch of things your mind's telling you about. You can't do this, you can't do that. Your life's this, your life's that, and all these things, and you start believing in it, right? And then it becomes your reality. And so you're living in this world that your mind is creating for yourself because you're believing in it. So what's going to happen when you start thinking positively every single day? When you listen to positive affirmations every single day? If you're opening my page and you're reading my quotes every single day, or coming to my YouTube channel, watching my videos every day, your perspective is going to change. You're going to start thinking differently. You're going to start thinking about how the world may be a very, very beautiful place. You might think about your life, that it can be super beautiful and amazing things can happen to you. It's all about perspective. It's all about your belief system. What do you believe in the most, right? Jennifer, I don't enjoy being alone and just always cutting myself off socially. And that's okay, Jennifer, because I did that. Like, again, I mentioned that earlier about me cutting myself off with everybody, with social media, like everything, right? But once I started to heal myself, I started to love myself and I started to take care of myself, I opened the world back for myself. And I started to talk to people that I stopped talking to. I start, with Facebook especially. I started calling out my friends to come over to my house. They called me and we went out. All those things, it really helps to be able to just be out there again, right? To just and I know sometimes it gets really hard. I was listening to the radio last week and they were talking about how hard it is when you're an adult, how hard it is to make new friends, right? And that could be true too, right? Because I think social media really, really made such a crazy difference in this world, right? It wasn't never like that before the internet happened, living back in the day, right? Relationships were a lot easier because it's like you didn't have to worry about text messages. You didn't have to worry whether if someone texts you and like, are they really thinking that just because they added an emoji at the end of their sentence? Does it really mean that they care and love me? You start thinking about that, and that causes anxiety, right? And before that happened, without messaging of that, I was able to call my girlfriend out. We go out and we just talk. And I'm sitting there with her. We're talking physically. I could take her out and all these things. But now it's like all texting and messaging, and you just don't know if that conversation is even real, right? Because it could be like, oh yeah, I love you and blah blah blah. But inside they're like, but behind the scene, because you don't know what they're doing, they're like reading a book or watching TV, or they're talking to someone else, or they have a burner phone. They're talking to another boyfriend or whatever the case may be, or girlfriend. You just don't know, right? So that's why the world is changing, and that's why there's so many more people now that have anxiety. There's more people that have depression and mental health issues, because it's how fast our world is changing. It's changing so fast, we don't even have the time to keep up with it, right? And now with AI taking over, it's like it's the world is going to change so fast, guys. It's like it's going to be like within the next 2 years, you're going to see a huge difference, right? But don't let that stop you on focusing on yourself. That's why I say it's so important to spend that energy every single day to focus on yourself, because remember that this is your life, this is your journey, right? So you need to spend that time you have every single day to work on that better version of yourself, because the more you work on a better version of yourself, the brighter your world is going to become, right? For Honda, from my perspective, we can make each and every day more productive and happy by our own work. Yes, that's with the self-care and taking care of yourself and just doing all the great things that make you, joyful and happy. It's so important, right? Kaylee, sometimes make it through another day is all you can do, and that is great. It is okay, right? And we do have that strength every single day to make it to the next. And sometimes it may seem like we don't have that strength because life just happens to throw something at us, and it just feels like we are so weak, that there's no way I can get through this. But me thinking about that helped me move forward, because I kept looking back at my past and I said, Roger, you had a company with your brother, that was so successful. We made movie deals. We had the number one comic book, but that went bankrupt, but you still survived, right? You had everything when you were living that life, right? You're making good money, you're dealing with Hollywood, you're dealing with all these famous people and stuff like that, but you don't have that anymore, right? But I don't but it made me realize that, yeah, I've went through a lot of crap back in the past, but I was somehow overcame it. This one, my anxiety and depression right now may seem like one of the toughest, but when I start to believe in myself, I said, okay, fine, it is a dark chapter, right? But who's to tell me that I can't overcome it? Who's to tell me that I can't have a bright future? Who's to tell me that I can't be happy anymore? Right? So that's why I said, screw it. I'm just going to do whatever I can and do it, and just try at least. I have nothing to lose. I got to a point in my life that my anxiety, depression got me so hard that I didn't care about anything anymore. I was just like, just, just look at it straight in the eye and say, you got this. I'm going to deal with it and I'm going to beat it. And that was my mindset, and it worked, right? And then ever since that, I'm on this bullet speed train that's going 300 miles per hour, right? And if there's a mountain in my way or what, I don't have to climb around it, or try to climb on top of it. I literally run right through it, right? Have that mindset, and you can get so far, right? When you start to believe in your strength and you believe in yourself and that everything that you can conquer anything, because you want to become unstoppable. And when you have that mindset of you becoming unstoppable, you know, you're gonna see how strong you really are. It's such an amazing feeling. And I know that if you start training yourself every single day to have that kind of mindset, you're going to see huge differences in your life. Jennifer, I wish I could throw stuff out so I can move forward instead of looking around at all the clutter, because I need to declutter all the junk and memories because keeping stuff is holding back. So you're talking about your thoughts, right, Jennifer, about like your past and all that stuff that's holding. And I like to talk about letting go, right? Because I had to do that too. I had to let go of that version of myself, right? Which I thought I was chasing for, right? When I had my anxiety and depression, because I was like, I want my life back. I want to be that same Roger, right? I thought, that's the only way that I'm going to be happy again, right? Um, And I kept thinking about that every single day, and it got me so angry because I knew that I couldn't go back into the past. No matter what happened, I can never travel back in the past and forget that I had anxiety and forget that I had depression and forget that I had a concussion that day that I slipped on ice. I wish that day never happened, and then I just kept, and that's why my anxiety and depression got so bad because I couldn't let go, right? But when you start to focus on loving yourself, when your perspective starts to change because you're taking better care of yourself, and the only thing that matters to you is you becoming a better version of yourself, it's going to be that much easier to start letting go because you are so focused on um, seeing yourself becoming that better version of yourself because your mission is to become great. I want to see how far I can go, right? So if those things in your past has been, you know, wrapped around your ankles and it feels like you're just dragging this thing along, you know, that is definitely causing you to it's slowing you down. It is slowing you down. However, if you're telling like, you know what? I need a fresh start. I need to start this new chapter in my life. I want to start working on the new me, right? I want to and you tell yourself that, hey, you know what? And some of the things I got to do is I got to let go of these chains that are stopping me from moving forward, right? So when I started to build that up here, that's when I said, Roger, stop chasing, stop trying to want to become that old Roger, right? It's done. The past is done. It's gone. You can't change it, right? So start thinking about what can happen in the future. What can you create today that's going to make that happen where you can start saying that, oh my gosh, this is what I've been searching for. This is exactly where I want to be. Right. And once I started to let go of all those things that stopped me from moving forward, it was so much easier. Right. And one of the things that really helped me a lot was crying a lot. I had so much inner pain, and I talked about that on my Facebook Live, right? About that inner pain, right? It was so dark, and when I cried and I yelled every single day at the top, I'm telling you, like, top of my lungs, right? My whole neighborhood could hear me, right? Like, they're probably like, "Well, who's that crazy guy inside?" But I was, like, yelling and yelling, but it helped me, it healed me, and I felt so light after it, and, when you start to cry, you're gonna start to heal your heart, especially if you're heartbroken from something that happened to you in the past and you just can't forget about it. Don't be afraid to cry. Just let those tears go. Tears are created for a reason, right? You got to let go of that inner pain. It's there, it's stuck inside you. It needs to be released. So don't be ashamed to cry, right? And when you start to do that, you know, you're going to feel that some of that stuff is starting to be released, and so that you can start being free, so you can start heading more, you can start walking forward to that direction, right? Kaylee, for me, it is not a problem to talk to people online. It is the real world where I isolate myself the most of the time. I know, I understand that. That was with me too as well, right? I was just so scared to talk to people because there's one time I went to the psychiatrist, and right when I stepped into the door, she's like, "Wow, you look bad." I was like, "Oh my gosh, do I look that bad?" Like you could see that I was severely depressed, right? But, that's why I said, "You know what? I need to fix myself. I need to make myself look like I'm happy and that everything's okay." And then when I start to, look a little better, that's when I started going out more and all that stuff. So for some people, it takes time, right, Kaylee? So, if you feel that being alone right now is something that makes you feel comfortable, then it's okay to feel that, right? Jennifer, his quotes are always spot on for me. Oh, thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. Esmeralda, see you next time, Sir Roger. Lee, it was good seeing you. Take care. See you soon, Esmeralda. On my next live on Facebook will be next week, and then YouTube again. Bernadette, timing is everything. We have to be patient. It is, right? And you know how they say, like some things happen for a reason, right? You just have to wait, and you just never know what's going to happen to you, right? Like even meeting that special person is just be having to be patient, because if you were meant to meet someone at a specific time, it's going to happen, right? And and sometimes it's hard to tell yourself that, really, does everything happen for a reason? Because whatever's happening to me right now sucks, right? But yes, I know it's hard, but you just have to look at it as something, an experience in your life that you probably do need to go through to learn something from it. It happens because there's something important, valuable, that we have to learn from that lesson, right? Is my sound okay? Has it been, like, cutting off or anything like that? Because I was really trying to work on my sound today because I don't like it when it goes, like, out and comes back in. I just want it to be nice and smooth so you can hear my voice. Jennifer, I have so much stuff for my separation, I can't get rid of it. I'm tied to it because stuff I am not allowed to get rid of. Okay, so it is a separation thing, and it is that is going to take some time to heal, Jennifer, right? It is definitely going to take some time. Um, we don't know how long it's going to last, right? But you just have to focus on yourself, right? Because the more you focus on yourself, the more you take care of yourself, the more you take care of your mind, right? The faster you're going to be able to let go of all these things that are really making your life horrible right now, and those thoughts that are continuously going in your head right now, right? So just focus on yourself for right now. Okay, that is the most important thing. And as you start doing that, you're going to start to see that the visions that you have in the future of you being happy are going to get is going to become brighter and brighter every single day, and it's going to get more clear, right? Katie, the past is gone, but fighting with trauma from the past day by day and not a fall totally apart and lose yourself is exhausting. Try to find ways to deal with that. It does get exhausting. It does. I had so many days where I just felt like I just wanted to give up, right? But we just something deep inside us just keeps pushing ourselves because it's like we don't know it and we don't realize it. Even though we want to give up, something about us won't allow us to give up because we just tell ourselves that I have to keep moving forward because I still believe that things are going to work out for me, right? Just keep thinking about that because again, we do not know what's going to happen in the future. Anything can happen, right? So, always have hope, right? Hope is so powerful and never lose faith, right? And believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe that things are going to be okay. Shell, it just started a little bit. I missed it. Your connection is cutting in and out. Oh, I'm driving and listening to videotape time like it's a podcast, and of course, I will be careful. I was just about to say that, Natalie. Be careful when you drive. Drive safe. I hope my voice is okay because Shell was just telling me that it was cutting in and out. Is anyone having a hard time listening to me, or is my video not clear? Regine says, I used to be afraid to talk in front of many people, but since I'm in the field of teaching, I have no choice but to overcome those. But it scares me sometimes. So, again, that's practice makes perfect, right? Like it's just being in front of a crowd and talking. And I think one of the scariest things is when you're going to school and you have to do those speeches. I think that was probably one of the scariest things, right? But, I think that's a good thing that we get to go up and do these type of things so that we can get used to talking in front of people. Not everyone is going to be someone that can do public speaking, right? But just going out publicly and speaking to people like physically can help with that, right? I had to go like when I was going through my darkness, how I hated people. I hated talking to people. I hated listening to people. I hated like a whole bunch of things, right? So when I finally healed myself, I was like, the only way I'm going to be able to, really get in touch with people is to actually speak with them somehow. One day, eventually, if my RLQ becomes successful, I'm going to have to learn how to make proper videos and speak properly, and just I want to show people the real me. Like I don't want to be some guy that writes quotes and then when I see somebody or they hear me, I just put on this mask and I pretend I'm this other guy. When I write like when you read my quotes and you see me in person, I want you to feel like, yeah, when I read his quotes, but I see him in person when during his lives, it's like they are the same person. Like I just want to be as authentic as possible, right? Like if you saw me in person, this is who I am. I am not pretending to be this nice guy. I am not pretending to be some guy who healed himself from anxiety, depression, right? Right? I am not. This is me, right? And this is the real me. I think it's so important, right? That you get to know who the real Roger is, right? And because that connection between you and I is so important to me, right? Our partnership, not our partnership, our relationship means so much to me, right? So, that's why I try my best to answer your messages when you message me on Facebook or Instagram. I try to respond to you as fast as I can, and sometimes I am behind, so I apologize for that. Let me see. For Hana to smile, enjoy your coffee. And I forgot to bring my coffee for Hana, but I'm gonna make one after this live is over because my throat is dry. And I also forgot to bring my water, but it's okay. So I Facebook Live. Oh my gosh, my voice was so dry. My throat was so dry, but I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. Love everything you say, Roger. Thanks so much for Hana. Kaylee, no problems with connection over here. Yay, we got Kaylee who's doing good. Shell, are you okay with my connection so far? Natalie, oh, your video is fine. Your audio is okay. And I'm most to take attention to the road to just listen to the great advice and words. Awesome. Are you heading home, Natalie? Are you drive safe. Please drive safe, Natalie. Farhana, everything is okay over here. Perfect. Jennifer, it was cutting in and out on my end. Is it doing okay now? You see, there's always something. It's either video or voice, but I hopefully the so far as I've been talking for about an hour and 10 minutes, I hope everything is okay. Like it hasn't like the voice, like you can't hear me, but as long as you can hear me, that's a good sign, right? What else do we got here? Sorry, I got this thing here that's blocking my chat. Kenya, it's clear, but it was just a minute. You got a little cut off, but you've been very clear. Okay, perfect, Kenya. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Okay. You know what? I was gonna show Natalie's casserole, but I'm not gonna do it because she can't. Can you see me, Natalie? Or you can only listen to my voice. Joanne, your quotes are inspiring and they get me through each day. I'm so glad they do, Joanna. And I know you've been following me for so long, and I'm just so grateful and happy that like whenever you feel down or something, you contact me right away. And I know I apologize sometimes I don't respond to right away, but that I am there for you. That I am a part of your journey, and that I can, even though I'm not there with you physically in that room with you right now to hug you or hold you, that at least my voice is there for you, and I can speak to you and guide you to. I really want you to be happy. I want everyone to at least have a taste of it so that they can remind themselves that they can be happy. They can be happy. You can be happy again, right? That is that one thing I thought I could never have back in my life. That made my life so dark and horrible was because I had that thought that I was never going to smile again and that I was going to live my life enjoying it anymore. Like I wanted it so bad. And that's why, being determined and being motivated and inspired and pushing yourself every single day is so important in this process of you finding your happiness, right? You need to work on that mind of yours, right? And sometimes I talk about how you need to reprogram your mind and teach yourself how to start thinking differently than how you've been thinking for the past couple of years. Like, what is the software that you have installed in your mind right now? Is it like, you know like the program that everybody's been learning for the past 10 years, and they just keep thinking about it because they believe that there's no changes, things that can't change in your life? Or do you have that new software that's telling you that, hey, you know what, guess what, today it can be an amazing day, today you can make an amazing choice to start changing your life, today you can start doing new things in your life, try new things. There's tons of things there are hobbies that you can try, things that you probably thought you wanted to do back when you were a little bit younger, or that you pushed aside, but you can make that choice today to bring that into your life again, so you can bring that joy and happiness back into your life, right? And I did that, right? When I started about working out and cutting the grass and cleaning the house, and going shopping again, and just going out with my friend, all those things I started bringing back into my life, and I started to see that, you know that light, that well, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting close to the light. It's really happening. I could start seeing changes. I'm smiling again. And my life, I started to see those changes, and I think those changes are what's going to make you feel that it's worth it for you taking those steps, because you do see those changes, right? So, I'm going to go back to perspective again. It's your perspective and your belief system, and that is what you need to start, realizing for yourself, right? That you, and I say this a lot, is to realize that you do have choices. That every day we make choices, right? But what are those choices that you're making every single day, right? Stop making that choice to listen to that inner voice that's telling you that your life is yucky, right? Start focusing on that little voice and make it become louder by paying attention to it more, and start focusing on it to tell you that, you know what, I have to believe that things are going to be, believe that things are going to be better for me in the future. I have to believe it, right? Because I have to start creating that future that I don't want to happen, because I know for a fact that it's just going to be dark, that I'm never going to get out of this mess, that I'm always going to be in this little small dark room, and I can't find the light and all that stuff, right? That is just something that you're telling yourself and you're believing in it. So you got to stop listening to that voice. Start paying attention to that voice that's so hard, that's trying to help you so much, that's trying to push you every single day, that's trying to tell you that there is a better version of yourself, that you can create this for yourself, right? That you're going to be happy one day. You're going to find some inner peace finally. Listen to that voice. And I'm telling you, if you start paying attention to that voice every single day, it's going to become your reality, like it did with mine, right? Natalie, have a taste of my castle. Yes, but I love your kind words. Oh, did I miss something? Yes, I am heading home just 2 minutes away. Okay, good. I was at the library going to read the book. Oh, that's right. You were picking up that book. Okay, let me know how that goes. And you mentioned about your castle and you're making me hungry, Natalie. Oh, you can see the video now. Okay, that's great. Oh my gosh. I missed your live on Facebook. Oh, Jennifer, you missed my live. You can always watch it. It's on my page. If you go back and you look back at my stories, I think you can click on it and you can watch it. I think I talked about 2 hours on that Facebook. A lot of information. So if you want to watch me again, listen to me, you can go back on my Facebook page, you can listen to my live. Yeah, there was a lot of good information there, and I hopefully that information can help you. And my next live on Facebook is probably going to be on Friday or Saturday, maybe, I think. We'll see. Jennifer says loud and clear, perfect. And Joanne says it's perfect. The sound, awesome. Bernadette says thank you so much for helping me understand where I am. You're very welcome, Bernadette. And I hope you enjoyed seeing Kona. I really wanted you to see Kona. That's why I had to leave the scene and grab her so I can show her to you, because she is such a cute little dog, and she made such a big difference in my life. Sai says, "Yes, I love to hear your voice again, Sir Roger." Awesome, Sai. Awesome, awesome. Oh, by the way, I will be working on my podcast number 2, Your Mind Matters podcast. You guys might have seen it. My first one I did about 3 weeks ago. I think it's about a month, and I've been saying every single day, every single time I go live, that I'm working on my second podcast, but I'm gonna make it a reality. Because I've been rearranging some of the stuff in this room because I wanted a different setting. So yeah, it's a podcast, it's a video podcast. If you like listening to my voice, if you like watching listening to me talk, I am going to be working on episode number 2. Okay, it's coming soon, but I'll let everyone know on my Facebook page. Regine says my connection now is perfect, but the downside, I'm going back and forth on my laptop watching you and teaching my people. You're actually teaching while you're listening to me. Wow, you guys are doing so many things while you're listening. I'm so grateful. Natalie was driving. You're teaching. Oh my gosh, I love you guys so much. Oh wow, thank you so much for doing that for me and paying attention to me and listening to me. Natalie says, I am home now, but in the car, therapy talk. Your words truly help, and I'm going to try my best to make positive changes. That's amazing, Natalie. And if I can do that to help you with your life and everything, that is something that means the world to me. For anybody that has been able to listen to what I've been talking about on my lives, my streams, and especially my quotes, right? The quotes may have be like a few words or maybe a sentence, but they are powerful because I'm telling you, like during my healing process, I read quotes for 4 to 5 hours straight per day. You guys know that, right? And it healed me by focusing on specific quotes that I truly believe that were going to help me get through a very dark time, right? So that's why sometimes when I write something and it pops up on your Facebook, on your feed, on Facebook, and you read it in the morning or maybe before you go to bed, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed to hear, right? It's because I went through something similar to that, and the reason why I wrote it was because this is what I believed in that helped me get through this dark part or this dark thought, right? So if you are thinking about it, there are many people that are probably thinking about the same thing as you are. There's a quote that I put out today, about I know you've been life's been hard and you've been struggling and but everything's going to be okay. Like people are thinking about that, I'm pretty sure every single day, how hard it is to just try to make it to the next day, right? What do I need to do so that I can start living my life being happy, that I don't have to worry about anything? And I know money plays a big part of it too, because money is king, right, in this world. But it's not money doesn't have to be the one thing that's going to make you happy, right? There are a lot of things that we all have to go through that we have to deal with, especially again with people that have things in their past that they have to deal with, right? Like Jennifer, like that relationship, the long-term relationship, that's hard to let go. Like a broken heart is so hard to heal. Memories, those past memories that you had that are always going to be there. You can't just press the delete button and they're gone and you will never remember it at all. They're always going to be there, right? But again, that's why I say that loving yourself and self-care and spending time with that's sorry, that's Kona barking. Surrounding yourself with people, creating a positive circle for yourself, right? Talking to people that believe in you, that appreciate you. Those are the people that are going to help change your life, right? It's like all about that environment. And Kona's here with her shark, like she's swimming. Kona, okay. She's still wearing her shark costume, but you get what I'm saying. It's like you're and on my last Facebook Live, I talk about how your life is like a movie, right? It's like you are the writer for the script, right? You are the director, and you are also the actor. You have to take all three of these jobs, right? And so you want to write something you want to write a good script, right? So today you have a page that you can start writing your script on. So you're going to want to write something good, so that when you write something good, when you act it out, because you are the actor as well, you can relive or act out this amazing thing that you wrote down today on that script, right? Then you will publish it because it is going to be a part of your story in your life, which is also a part of this movie that you are living in right now, that you are directing and acting at the same time. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? So it is really, really important on what you decide you want to write for that blank page that is given to you every single day, and to also know that you are in control of that pen or typewriter or whatever, you know, that you're using to write, right? Nihal. Hi, Roger. Oh, Rita. I was like, Nihal, but then it's Rita. Hey, Rita, I'm glad you could join. Oh, I'm so happy you joined. I have been talking for about an hour and 20 minutes, but it's okay because everyone here in this chat is super amazing. I love you guys so much. So I'm glad you joined, Rita. I'm really glad you joined. Joanne, thank you. Means a lot, Roger. Yeah, volume's fine. Okay, perfect. Perfect. That's good. Oh, Joanne's going. Where's Joanne? Oh, good night, Roger. I'm up in 4 hours. Oh my gosh, she has 4 hours to sleep and she has to take her kids to school. So, Joanne, I will message you later. Okay, Joanne. Sleep well. Sleep well. I love Joanne. She's so awesome. Bernadette, thank you so much for letting me see your famous Kona. You're very, very welcome. I will bring her on. I think for every YouTube live, I will bring her on. Maybe not always with a costume. Regine, I ended up giving my pupils seat work and a little while it's, let me see, there, where am I? Their break time so I can focus watching on you. Oh, that's so sweet. Tell them I say hi, by the way, to your pupils if you get a chance to. Nihal, glad I'm. Oh, okay. Rita, I'm glad you came. Rita, I'm so glad you came. Your mind can be dangerous at times, but I'm thinking positive. Your mind can be very dangerous. That's why your mind is so powerful and is so important. Remember about that voice, that inner voice. Today's topic about that inner voice. That's which one are you listening to? So when this live is over and you're doing your thing, whatever you're doing after this live, I want you to pay attention to what you're listening to in your mind. What's it really telling you, right? Then I want you to pause, and I want you to ask yourself, should I really listen to this thought, right? Is it something that's going to help me become better, right? And your world is going to freeze, right? Time is going to freeze for a split second, and you're going to be able to make that decision whether you want to start continuing to listen to this voice, right? And then you take that because you're really getting in there and you're learning how to dissect, right? This is where you start categorizing and putting away what are the thoughts that really mean something to you, right? This is you training your brain, right, to really recognize and which is like, if it's a negative thought and it's really loud, then it's definitely something you have to pay attention to, right? Because you want to start lowering that volume for those negative thoughts, right? So that you can give that chance for those positive thoughts to start to become louder, right? So this thought is telling you that, you know what, guess what? Tomorrow is going to be a bad day. No matter what, tomorrow is going to be a bad day. right? So if you listen to that thought and you say, "No, it isn't. What are you talking about? Tomorrow hasn't even happened yet." Right? Talk to that voice and start having a battle with it and just say, "You know what? You're wrong. I don't have to listen to you. Tomorrow's going to be an amazing day." You know why? Because I'm going to prove it to you. Even if it starts off bad, I'm going to make it an amazing day. That is the mindset you need to have when you wake up in the morning. Instead of waking in the morning saying, "Oh yeah, I remember my mind last night. It was telling me that, man, today's gonna be a bad day. So you know what? It probably is gonna be a bad day, but because you know what? My mind is right all the time, right? It could be right all the time if you listen to the right voice. But if it's telling you bad things and it's making your world look like a place you don't want to live in, then you know what? Don't listen to that voice. You know, Pause for a moment, think about what you have that thought that's telling you, right? And if you have it, it's gonna start to give you a little bit more courage and more to stand up against it and say, you know what, hey, I don't have to listen to you, right? There's my other friend here, the voice that's telling me to stay strong and that better days. You know what? This is the person I want to go out with coffee and have a talk with. Okay, I don't. I you can start like you're not welcome here anymore. That's basically what I had to do in my mind. I had to play. I had to think outside the box, and that's what I was doing. I made that negative thought, that negative voice, as someone that I was not welcomed in my house, right? And I had to find a way to kick that person out, so I can start hanging around with the people that believe in me, right? Joanne, okay. Sorry. Bean was looking around when he heard Kona barking. Oh my gosh, that would have been so funny to see. Oh my gosh. So he's awake now, right? Bean is awake. Give him a huge hug. I love Bean so much, man. Took me more than 50 years to be myself finally, the one I ever was supposed to be. And that is amazing. That is so amazing that happened to you, and it's the same thing for me. It took me so long to figure out what my passion was, right? I failed, I succeeded, I thought I was going to be this, but that didn't happen to me. And I just thought that, but I thought that was me, like when I made my CD, when I was, a singer, a professional singer for a while, I thought that was my life. I was set. This is me. I'm going to be singing. I'm going to be going across the country and like blah, 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 blah. And then, it didn't happen. Right. And I was like, oh my gosh, now what? Same thing that goes with my comic book publishing company with my brother. I thought I was set. This is what I'm going to be. We're going to publish comic books for the rest of my life, and we're going to make movies in Hollywood for the rest of my life and blah, blah, blah. But bam, that didn't happen. And then that's when I started to think to myself, oh my gosh, like when is it going to be where I'm going to actually find something that I love to do, that I can say to myself that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and I can wake up in the morning, I can't wait to go to work because I love what I do, right? But it took all that through my whole journey to finally discover what it was. And it wasn't even easy to figure out what that thing was, because I had to go through severe anxiety and severe depression, hit rock bottom to realize exactly what it was that I loved, what I wanted to do. Right. Even though in my heart, I kind of knew what I like to do, but I didn't know what I needed to do for me for it to match, right? Because I always loved people. I always liked to be kind to them, and I always wanted to help people. I was always help, help, help. But there came a point where I was helping so many people, I forgot to help myself. And that's where the balance comes in, right? Because you can't spend too much time on one specific thing. There has to be some sort of balance, right? But I used it as this. I love helping people and I do it every single day. But at the same time, I can't forget that I have to also take care of myself and do the things that for myself so that I can remain being happy and joyful and have a peace of mind, right? I need to keep that balance for myself, right? So I do. That's why, I spend the entire day, right? Either helping people and I help myself. I do things that bring me joy and happiness, like working out, doing house chores, talking to people in my family and all those things. At the same time, I am also talking to people all over the world and trying to help as many people as I possibly can. So there is that balance, right? Sai, your voice gives comfort when you sing, Saraja. Did you hear me sing? I think it was a live I did on Facebook when I sung Hallelujah. Were you there, Sai? I think you were, right? I think I sung Happy Birthday to someone too. But those aren't like songs that I usually sing when I practice. I sing like pop. I sing like um, stuff from musicals. I love singing like 90s romance songs, like slow songs. Like I love Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. They're so amazing. Uh, one in a million for sure, but maybe one day when I have enough guts to sing like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston level songs, I will definitely do. But that's why I'm gonna like slowly start by singing Christmas carols because Christmas carols are a little bit easier to do. And then I will slowly get into like other songs. Like I think I left one. I think it was last year. I asked my followers, what song would you like me to sing? And there was like a huge list of all these songs that you guys wanted me to hear me sing. And there was a lot of oldies, right? And I know of those songs, right? Like Kenny Rogers, Elvis, and all those guys. I know I had Lionel Richie, like I love singing those guys' songs too, but it's going to happen. I promise you guys. I will say it's been over a year, so I feel so bad that I haven't been able to sing for you guys. For Hana, want to see Kona the dog. You know what? If Kona comes back around, I'll grab her. But if once this thing is done, you can go back in the video because I actually left the room, right, guys? And I brought Kona here. She's wearing this shark costume, so I called her Shark Kona because she's half dog, half shark. First time I hear you sing. Oh yeah, it was a hallelujah, right? Yeah, I did that without any music. I think I did okay. I was still kind of nervous, but Natalie, it takes strength to try many new jobs and hobbies. Wait, it takes strength to try. It does. You have to have a lot of courage because like especially if it's a new job, right? You like you're telling yourself, "Oh, I really want to do this, but I'm so scared." But sometimes you just got to say, "You know what? I got to try it. I got to do it. I'm never going to find out if I don't try it," right? Um it's all about believing in yourself again. It's all about, strengthening that mindset. I was so scared to do my first live because I thought I would stutter. I thought I wouldn't know what to say, or I thought I would run out of things to say. There's a lot of preparation. A lot of people like they spend hours writing a script and they plan out everything what they want to say, and everything's there. But for me, it's like I don't have a script, right? I really don't plan out really what I want to talk about like on paper. So before I go live, I basically just go through my head and I you know just try to think of all the things that I really want to say, right? So that's why when I talk, it's like everything that I'm saying is already in here. It's programmed in my mind. So that's why like it's easier for me to just speak it out and just say it truthfully, right? I just think it feels a little bit more natural that way. That you don't see me like looking over at this piece of paper or in front of me, and I'm just reading out this dialogue, and I think it just makes it a little bit more, like okay, Roger kind of knows what he's talking about. I mean, he's doing this without a script, right? So yes, I can't wait for Christmas songs. I'll be watching it, Sir Roger Lee. Oh, yeah, I that's why it's October now, so I'm practicing. I'm practicing every single day. Okay, every single day I'm practicing. Um, Christmas carols is one of my favorites. I love singing them. But hopefully my voice will be ready in time for the RLQ concert, and I will definitely let you guys know when it comes. I was so nervous when I started my new job, as it was also a brand new career. Yeah, it definitely is, Shell. Right? It's like when you go to school for the first day, like a new school, and you're scared, right? Because you're in a new environment, and then there's all these new people that you're going to meet, and you're just like, oh my gosh, how I'm going to do? Am I going to do okay? You know, and but once I'm sure you love your job now, Shell, right? But it's always like it again, like it always starts off hard before it comes easy, and it's just one of those things you just have to get used to, right? Same thing with doing my live streams and my videos, and being able to speak to people, and doing all these things. It took me a lot of time to practice. Even my quotes to this day, it took me a it took me a long time to figure out how to write properly. What are the key words that I have to use in my quotes that people can that read it and say, yeah, this is exactly what I've been thinking about. Like even the design aspect of it, finding the right photos that fit with the quote, and all those things. I'm still learning, right? Every single day I'm still learning. Like I've been recently doing reels, right, on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm playing around with like what works with people, and what are the things that I need to design so that people can look at it, and they can feel it. I think the important thing is people like looking at it and reading it and feeling it, right? That and I think that's important to me. So I, and I'm not scared to learn. I love learning. I love to challenge myself, right? Because remember, there's so many things that you can try out. And, especially with like YouTube right now, you can learn how to do anything. And that reminds me that I'm going to learn how to cook by watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos. And I was saying last live, right? When I decide to start cooking something, I'm going to tell you what I'm gonna cook, and then I'm gonna just sit there and I'm gonna cook in front of you, right? So, and I think that'll be super fun because cooking is like an art, right? I think I am probably the ingredients and mix it all, and like the casserole that Natalie made. I looked at that, I was like, I need to make something like that. Um, Sai, what's your favorite Christmas song? Oh my gosh, oh that's a good question. I still like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And I love singing it, and that song brings me back to my childhood. I love my childhood, it was so peaceful and so, and I was born in Montreal, right? So, Montreal was a very beautiful city. And yeah, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because he's also a cute character. But there are so many Christmas carols, but I will definitely try to sing as many as I can that night, that Christmas day. And I hope you guys enjoy my voice when I sing. I changed my whole life last year. It's almost 2 years now when I became, this is from Kaylee. I changed my whole life last year. It's almost 2 years now. When I became a new person, was so much afraid was other people think and say, but I went out nice. Yes, it took a lot of strength to do it. It does, right? And I think the most important part of this, Kaylee, is that you are happy about yourself. Like this is like your true self, right? Not a lot of people can take that one step forward. It's a huge step, right? Because we're so afraid of what people are going to think of you, what people are going to say about you, right? And so many of us are like, oh, I need to be this specific way so that I can fit in, right? And how long are you going to actually do that until you realize that you've been living your whole life being a different person, right? And you don't want to wait till it's too late and say, damn, you know what? I wish I was the authentic me so that I could start living my life to do the things that I wanted to do the things that made me happy, to make my so that I can live my life more happily, right? So now that you've done it, Kaylee, that is a huge step for you, right? So work on that. You've already accomplished one of the hardest things to do, right? And now you just got to build upon it, right? It's almost like me when I started writing quotes and I was trying to get my page to, I wanted to try to share my quotes to as many people as I can. I almost gave up because, I wasn't seeing the likes. I wasn't seeing the subscriber count. It was all about numbers, but then I started telling myself and reminding myself, remember, Roger, why you started. Why did you start writing quotes in the first place? Because you want to help people, right? So if you're helping at least one person per day, isn't that enough? Right? If you were able to make one person smile today, isn't that enough? Right? Stop thinking about the millions and start focusing on the one, and that one is going to grow one day. Right? So I kept that mindset and I kept pushing myself every single day, believed in myself, and I grew. I planted the seed for myself and I didn't give up on it. And I watered it every single day until it blossomed into this beautiful tree. Now it's reaching to millions of people all over the world, and I'm able to touch their touch it. I was say touch their soul, right? And help them, right? And I'm so happy that I'm able to do that, right? So, I'm so happy for you, Kaylee. When you realize that you're now free from the anxiety, when did you realize that you're now free from anxiety and depression, Roger? That's an amazing question for Hannah, for anybody that's been trying to figure that out. And I love doing these lives on YouTube because it gives me a chance to actually see your questions, right? I'm trying to answer as many as I can. So for Hannah asked a beautiful question about that. And you know what? Honestly, I thought I was completely healed about 3.5, 4 years ago. When I started writing quotes, actually, the moment I started writing quotes, I really thought that I was anxiety and depression free. Okay. But there was a moment that time that came when I thought that I wanted to quit writing, it hit me again. It hit me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's coming back." I started to feel it's weird. Okay. Anxiety and depression, I suppose. It's like this chemical imbalance in your brain. So you can actually feel this chemical being released, right? And it just feels like you took this drug and then it starts to affect your whole entire body. That is like what it feels like, right? When you're sad, it's different because you're sad, okay? And then maybe the next day, everything you're fine, everything's good, and you feel normal again. But with like anxiety or depression, it's like it feels like it's this thing that it lingers, right? It's just like you can't. It's hard to get rid of, right? And that's why I believe that it was so hard for me to heal myself, right? So that time when I decided I wanted to quit writing, I started to feel it again, right? And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Should I even write anymore? Should I even believe that I can start helping people because I'm starting to feel anxious and depressed again, I think at least, right?" But then again, luckily, I learned how to strengthen my mindset. Luckily, I remembered everything that I was writing, everything that I read, everything that I listened to, everything that was helping me heal myself. And it took me about a week after that until I got my life back to get back to where I started to feel like I was anxiety and depression free, right? And then so literally it was about maybe a few months after that. That's when told myself I'm good. I feel like I like even if it does come back, I have enough power and strength to basically control it and tell it to and push it away, right? Because my the way I think is that, like again, as I was saying earlier in this stream, was that, I believe that every single day I need to work on a better version of myself, right? So that tomorrow I can tell myself, yeah, yesterday was a great day because I feel like I'm different today. I want that feeling, I want that feeling. And that's the mindset I have. Right. So yeah, it's been definitely over 3 years that I feel like I've been completely, like anxiety and depression free. But that is an amazing question, for Hannah. So I can't wait to hear your voice singing Christmas carols. I can't wait to sing them for you. Truthfully. Natalie, love that, Roger. Focusing on that one follower and now you're influenced many. Thank you so much. I mean, like that is the mindset I had to really push myself to start believing, right? Because it is so true, right? Just like it's just that one quote, because you think about it, that one quote I put out, that one person could have shared that one quote, and that one person who read it can share it, and it's just like this web, right? So I had to really stop thinking about the big picture, right? I had to focus on the small picture first, right? And I had to take those little steps. And then one day, and one day eventually something is going to happen, right? If I believed in myself, I believed in what I was doing, and I just believed that one day that things are going to turn out right for myself. And the more I believed in that system, you know, the more I started to see results. And the more that I started to see the results of that, the more I kept pushing myself, working harder, challenge myself, doing new things, trying new things, and it just, I just created opportunities for myself because I was tired of waiting. Right. And, I think that's very important for yourself to believe that you can create opportunities for yourself. Right. Stop waiting for those doors to open because, you do have the keys. You just have to have the courage to unlock those doors, open them so you can start moving, taking that new path and seeing what's on the other side of that bridge that you're so afraid to cross. Right. Kaylee, yes, it was for sure. I'm happy and proud of it. Still a long way to go, but I'll do. Today, there is so much against queer people, for transgender people, but it's getting better, right? I mean, like now you see them on movies, and they talk about it a lot. Even 5 years ago, like it was no one even really talked about it, or there were so many different opinions about it, right? But I think it's almost like like homosexuals and all that, and people like back in the day, people were always talking bad things about it, but it's being accepted now, right? Which is a really good step moving forward, and I think that's a great thing, right? So good things, changes are happening in this world, and I think positive things are happening, and we just have to think of that, right? And just believe that this world is changing. There are good changes in the world, and we just need to focus on those good changes instead of thinking about the bad things, right? Niha. Oh yeah, Rita. Rita. Thanks for the inspiration, Roger. Means a lot. You're always welcome, Rita. You are always welcome. And I'm so glad you came because I was like, oh, I really wanted Rita to show up. And I know she might be busy, but you did. And same with Joanne, because I know Joanne's busy too. I know a lot of you guys are busy, but you made the time to spend to come and watch me live, and I appreciate it so much, right? So let's see if I can. I promised I was going to show Natalie's casserole, so I'm going to see if I could do that really quickly. So bear with me, guys. I just want to show you how good her casserole was. So hold on, give me a second. I'm just gonna download this. Okay, it's Natalie. I'm gonna show it, guys, on my phone. It's on my phone. So you guys ready? Natalie, are you ready? This is a casserole she made. I was like, so how many people are actually eating this? Because this is huge, right? Ta-da! Oh shoot, the light. Can you guys see it? That's her casserole, Natalie's casserole that she made. What do you guys think? You guys, Natalie, now we're all gonna. That's see? If ever I'm hungry, I'll just look at this picture, Natalie. I'll say, pretending I'm eating this. Okay, this is incredible. So that is Natalie's. Like, she's incredible. sorry, sorry if I made you guys hungry, but some of you, I'm sure you guys have eaten dinner already, right? It's 9:17 here. I'm one of those people that haven't eaten dinner yet, but I did eat spaghetti though before I did my live, so I'm still good. But Kenya says, "Why don't you sing a little now?" I'm gonna be rusty, so if I sing now, I don't want my voice to crack. I think that's the fear of most singers is like if they go on stage and your voice cracks, that is probably one of the most embarrassing things that can happen to you. This, I'm not a professional singer anymore, so but if I do crack, I would be like, guys, I can do so much better than this, right? So you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I'm thinking that maybe for my next YouTube live, guys, I will practice one song and I will sing it for you. How's that? Right? That is me promoting for my next my live stream for next week's YouTube live that I am going to sing one song for you guys. I don't know what song it is, but if you want to hear me sing a particular song, go ahead and fill it out in the chat. And if I see it and I'm like, yeah, I know that song pretty good, I will practice that song so that my next live, I'm going to sing you a song. Because I love singing, guys. I honestly do. Like I love putting my emotions into it. There's one song that I sing that usually makes me cry. It's I Believe I Can Fly. I remember I sung that so many times and I just bawled because like before I used to listen to music and I never really paid attention to the lyrics. But when I started after I healed myself and I started to listen to music more, I really listened to the lyrics of I Believe I Can Fly. And I just saw myself as that person singing that's not like the lyrics. That was me. Right. I started to tell myself that I believe I can do all these things, right? And I cried, not because I was sad, was because it was tears of happiness, right? That I made it, right? And I don't cry now when I sing it. I might shed a tear. But oh man, I may actually practice that tonight. I love singing that song. But yeah, that is just a little story about that song and how I love singing that song. It's 3:17 over there now, Kaylee. Wow. Oh my gosh. Are you tired? If I'm so sorry if I'm keeping you up. But I that's like 3 in the morning is like I'm pretty much wide awake at 3 because that's the time when after I take in my protein shake. So basically I finish all my work and then I take my creatine right before my workout. Then I work out at about like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I take my protein shake, which is like half an hour after that. So by the time it's 2 in the morning, I am wired. Like, and then I use that energy that I still have to work, right? And then watch TV at the same time. So I'm multitasking, right? Because I know I should just focus. Sometimes I need time for myself and just focus on the TV, but I can't help myself but to continuously help people, even though it's still my leisure time and stuff like that. So that's what I do. Oh, Natalie, I have your steak picture too. So Natalie, but I'm gonna show the steak picture, Natalie, for next time because I think people are getting hungry from your casserole. So I'm gonna show the steak picture next time. We can all practice cooking. I am 22 and I'm still learning how to cook, but I hope to become really good one day. I think you've got a great start ahead of you, Natalie, because that casserole is definitely way better than something I can do. So I'm sure by next year you can probably come up with your own cookbook. Hey, imagine that, Natalie, your own cookbook. Just as a hobby, but profession. But it's great to learn how to cook. It is definitely cooking is like I know like a like a lot of people love to cook, right? Because it isn't it's a skill, it's art, and I think it's great because it allows you to focus, right? Remember how guys I like to clean, I like to wash the dishes, I just like to clean. I use that as a way to help me train myself how to focus, right? Because I get a chance to tell myself, hey, you know what? For the next 1 hour, or no matter how or however long it takes me to do it, I am going to dedicate my time and my mind to making sure that I get this thing done, which allows me not to have the time to focus on those negative thoughts well, back in the day when I had a lot of negative thoughts, that I didn't have time to focus on those negative thoughts, right? So if you can just use that as an example for a train for something to help you learn how to train, start learning how to cook, or if you know how to cook already, remember that the next time you make a meal, okay, like a big meal, actually it doesn't have to be a big meal. Focus on that one meal that you're preparing, right? And just not think about anything else. Right, and every time you do that, whether you're cleaning the house, whether you're doing something around the house, just focus on getting that done. It's going to help you train how to learn how to focus, to strengthen your mindset, okay? Believe me, it's going to work because I do that every single day. I need to clean. I need to do something. It's okay, fine. Maybe I am a little bit of a clean freak, right? But it's not. But I use that as an exercise for myself to help train myself, right? Just to continuously strengthen my mindset, right? So try it, guys. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. I'm telling you. Did you fight against your battles that time, Farhana? Which time? Fight against your battles that time. Which, if you can explain to me that question a little bit further, I will answer it. Rita says, "Me too, Raja. I do Indian singing. Oh my God! You know what, Rita? Maybe we should do a duet together. I would love to hear you sing, Rita, if you're not too embarrassed. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's awesome. I'd love to hear you sing one day, Rita. I'm an old night owl. Not old. You're not old at all. Like this owl. I got an owl. I love owls. I love owls. Okay, I love owls. Bernadette, it's 3:20 still backing. Is it 3:20 in the morning for you too, Bernadette? Is it 3:20 p.m. or 3:20 a.m. for you? Kenya, that's a nice song, and there is many of them. There are a lot of great songs, a lot of beautiful songs. For Hannah, one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. That's amazing quote. Is really true in your life journey. Yes, that's exactly why I have it on. I have a phone case, CASETiFY. You guys know that I have a collaboration with CASETiFY. That's one of the ones that's on my phone cases. I don't have the design with me. I'd show it to you, but you can see it when you go on my website on CASETiFY. Oh, morning, morning. Oh, so you're around Germany time, right, Bernadette? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning there. Oh my gosh, man, it's crazy. Thank you so much, guys, for staying up and still listen. You know what? I've always been talking for 2 hours, and you guys are still here. You guys are warriors, man. You guys are amazing. But we are having a great time. I think that's the most important thing. At the same time, there's something for all of us to learn. About life, about yourself. And at the same time, we're talking about cooking. We talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We talk about Kona, all these things that can help remind us that we can have a good time in life. That there are great times, and there's a lot more that can happen to you too, right? Because the future hasn't happened yet. Remember that the future hasn't happened. That's why I always say stay strong and always look forward to brighter days, because those brighter days are bound to happen, because there is some sort of balance in life, right? And that every dark chapter ends. So look forward to that new beginning, right? Um, and it's hard, when you're going through a hard, dark time and you just feel like it's not going to end. There is no end, that this is the chapter that you're going to live to for the rest of your life, and that's something that I was thinking about all the time before I started to heal myself. And that's why I was on that couch every single day, crying my eyes out, and just living every single day like that, with a panic attack, taking my medication, pacing back and forth in my house, yelling at my neighbors, yelling at myself, and just yelling, yelling, yelling. And I was hurting myself so bad. I was destroying myself. And the main reason was because I was listening to my mind telling me all those nasty things, right? It was that my mind. That's how powerful your mind is, right? But remember, you do have that power to decide what you want to listen to, and that is the whole topic of today's, live stream is about how you can have you can make that decision to pause time, to listen to that thought, to really tell yourself, is it really going to happen to me in the future? Should I really focus on this thought? Is it going to make me a better person? Right? And then when you start to think that way, that's when you start to have control over your life. That's when you start to have control of your thoughts. And that's a powerful ability to have. When you start to realize that you have the power to control your life, right? You don't have to listen to your mind do like it doesn't feel um like there's strings above you and you're just this puppet and your mind is like pulling the strings and you're just just going with it, right? And you may be feeling that right now, right? You want to cut those strings off so that you can live your life freely. You can do whatever you want, that you get to say, you get to basically dictate what's going to happen to you on this day and how you're going to react to it, whether it's good or bad, right? This is the power that you can have for yourself once you learn how to strengthen your mindset. And again, once you start to love yourself and take good care of yourself. Remember, taking care of yourself is one of the most important things, right? Like exercising, going out for those walks, so you can breathe that fresh air. What are you eating every single day, right? Are you drinking enough water, right? Are you eating cupcakes and candies and all those sweets and all that stuff, even though it's tempting to eat because it tastes so good. But remember, it's like you are what you eat, right? It's almost like the same thing. You are what you think, right? So the more you start to cut out all the negative things, right, the better you're going to see your life get, right? Both mentally and physically, right? You need both of these things, right? So if you have been deciding to try to work out, you don't even necessarily have to go to the gym. I don't even go to the gym. I don't, I would like to, but I have all the equipment in my house, right? And then I get to control when I want to work out and, all these things, right? But, that's why I had the last 2 months, remember what guys, when I injured myself, when I had that pain that was running down my neck, all the way down to my hand. Okay. It started from here. It worked all the way its way down here it took me almost 2.5 months to finally for that pain to go away. Right, Shell? Remember that? And we were like, oh my gosh, it took so long. It was so hard for me to push myself every single day with this pain. I couldn't sleep, so I lost sleep. I couldn't think properly because the pain, I kept thinking of the pain. I couldn't work out because I was so upset. I worked out every single day, and then all of a sudden I can't work out for 2 months, right? And to get through that through my mind took a lot of strength to tell myself, Roger, remember, keep pushing. You know what? That your arm is going to heal. You just don't know when it's going to heal. So, just be patient and just understand that your body's going to heal. And that when that day comes, when you do heal, get back and start working out again, and start getting your health back and start doing the things that you used to do and more. Right. So, that's the mindset I have. And, you just got to keep pushing yourself, even when you hit something and it feels like it stopped you, doesn't mean it's the end. You just gotta weather it out. And when you do, you just have to keep moving forward and keep moving forward, heading so that you can get to that direction that you've painted the picture. Remember that picture that I talked about earlier about that you've seen yourself happy again and doing all the things that you really want to do, all that kind of stuff that's going to happen for you. Right. Is Jennifer still out here? I'm not sure. She hasn't spoken on the chat. Or maybe she left and I didn't see her. Did you guys see Jennifer leave and say bye? I didn't see Jennifer for a while. For Hannah, okay, wait, hold on. Where am I? I went the opposite direction. I went to be silent. I was silent too, right? I definitely was silent for like the longest time, but during that time I was silent, I still was working on myself. I realized that I don't have to be loud. I don't have to talk to people or whatever because I spent that time working on myself. And then when I felt comfortable, that I felt that I have, done enough to help myself, then that's when I kind of like opened up a little bit more. And then I started to, go back on social media and started going out to the parks and take, go out to the shopping malls and stuff like that. So, it's all about time and healing and all that, right? So, and everyone's different, right? For Hana, what's your passing time hobby? Oh, I didn't answer that, or did I? Singing for sure, right? Singing is my hobby, and working out obviously is one of mine. and I used to draw a lot too, right? But then we had the comic book publishing company, and I couldn't draw anymore because I was like I was the editor in chief, so I had to look at everyone else's drawings, right? So I didn't have time to draw. So I used to draw a lot too. My brother is an amazing artist, Pat. You know Pat, right? Farhana, an amazing artist, one of the best artists, by the way, for Transformers. All right. Yes, that was big and looks so yummy. Oh, am I lagging on the chat or no? You're talking about that casserole, right, Kenya? People are still talking about Natalie's casserole. It's going to be super popular. If I showed you that steak, it's going to get you even more hungrier, guys. I'm telling you. But I'm going to save that for next time because if I saw that picture again, I'd probably be really, really hungry because it looks so good. So, wow, it's been 2 hours already, guys. Wow. You know what? I have to eat dinner because I've been thinking about the casserole, and I also need to have my coffee. And yeah, and I know you guys, and for like Kaylee and Bernadette, you know, it's late. It's well early in the morning, and I know you guys need to get some sleep and stuff like that. So, but I'm so glad you guys have been able to stick around for so long. That is so amazing. 2 hours is a long time. You know, I wish I could get you guys to actually come on live so that we can talk. You know what? I'm gonna figure a way how to do it. I think I know how. So if anybody's interested in actually coming on live with me to do a live on YouTube, let me know. Throw me a message, right? And then for next weekend, maybe I can get you guys to come online and I can actually talk to you and have you here. I can actually have two people online with me, right? We can talk. You're stop. You're too nice, Roger. I'm just telling the truth, right? Your food is amazing, and and I have to congratulate you for that your effort, and it's so beautiful. I just made a coffee. You know what, Kaylee? I'm gonna make a coffee too because I have about 3 to 4 coffees a day, and I think I had two already. So I'm gonna make one right after this. I'm gonna have a coffee too, Kaylee, and we will share that together. Natalie, have a great night. You picked my spare state. Awesome, Natalie. I'm so glad I did, and thank you for listening to me while you were driving home, and you got home safe. I'm so thankful for that. Love that song too. You're talking about I Believe I Can Fly. I love that song too. It's so beautiful. And remember, next weekend, let's do a singing. I'll try to sing, but if not, I think it would be great if I can actually get one or two of you to come live, right, and just chat and to talk. And if you have something that you've been thinking about for the past while, and you just want to share it. I think one of the hardest things is to actually get it off your chest, and because I think it's important that you do, right? But obviously, it has to be someone that you feel comfortable talking to about with, right? So if you have something that you don't mind sharing, we can talk about it on our next live. And if you want to, I can actually have you, uh, you know, online with me so people can actually see you and hear you. I think that would be great. And I think it would be a lot of fun too, right? Because this is a smaller crowd, and everyone here probably knows each other well now, right? That we were all talking and having a great time. And that's why I love doing my YouTube lives. So Bernadette, thank you so much. All the best. Thank you so much, Bernadette and Sai. Have eaten your dinner, and good night. Thank you so much. Natalie, what are you having for dinner tonight? Um, it's probably going to be something. Farhana, thank you so much for coming. Rita, Kaylee, Sai, Natalie, Jennifer, Bernadette. Sai says, I've learned a lot from you today, sir. Thank you so much. You're very welcome, Sai. I mean, that is, I think, the most important thing about these lives is that you did learn something today. I know I repeat a lot of things, but sometimes it's good for me to say it again, just in case you forget, right? Because the more you listen to it, the more you remind yourself, and the more it will be inherent in your mind. So when something happens and occurs, you'll just remember, oh yeah, I remember Roger told me that one day on his live that blah 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 blah, right? So it's good. It's good to that that I remind you that I say things over and over again so you guys can remember, right? Farhan, so sad you suffered a lot. Hope God will help give you a blessed life. Um, blessed life journey in future and fulfill your every since wish. Oh, thank you so much, Farhana. And Shell, if you're still here, I don't know if Shell left with Bean. If you're here, thank you so much again, Shell, for coming. Farhana, just live each day life to the left fullest for sure. Haha, you're great. Thank you so much. You're great. Your energy is amazing. I love it so much. Together we can provide all this positive energy so that after we get off this live stream, we can carry this positive energy with us for the week coming ahead, because it is the new week, and it is Monday. Some days Mondays is hard for some people, right? Because we're like, oh my gosh, the weekend is so far away. I can't wait till the weekend comes and whatever. But carry this energy with you forward. And again, remember, if I did make you smile and you haven't done it for a while, remember that you can smile. If you were happy at least for a little bit today, remember you can be happy again, right? Just these reminders are so important. You just have to keep reminding yourself, and the more that you can remind yourself, the more that you can start believing that one day that you can actually live like this for the entire day, and not like little segments during the day, like 1 second I'm happy, 1 second I'm not, 1 minute I'm this, 1 minute I'm not. You just have to tell yourself, well, one day everything's going to be smooth for you again, right? One day you're going to have that inner peace that you've been searching for, and you can start living your days feeling like, oh my gosh, I love my life, I love myself, I can't wait to start new things, and that kind of mindset, right? So I believe in you guys. I believe in you guys so much that I know that you guys are going to do amazing. This future is bright for you, and you have that ability and power to make these beautiful changes for yourself, for your life. Natalie says, I'm still deciding. I haven't had lunch yet. Lunch? You haven't had lunch yet? Truly, after the gym, I just snacked on Cheetos, but I'm going to get some chicken rice and gravy. There you go. That will make up for the Cheetos, right? Uh, I love chips. There's one thing, I don't eat candies, I don't eat muffins, donuts, I don't eat any of that, but I have to eat chips. All right. Chips is just like it's part of the menu. Right? Well, they are made of potatoes, right? Well, some are. But that's all I eat. But everything else is healthy. So, there is that balance. So you should do a duo with Rita, right? Because Rita did say that. Who else can sing here? Because if I ever travel to Canada, we can drink a coffee. Visit Canada is a great dream for me, and one day I will be there. Kaylee, if you ever do visit Canada, please let me know. Remember, I live in Toronto. So if you do, I would love to sit down with you, have coffee and chat, and just spend the whole day just talking about life. And that is I love doing that. Just being able to talk with, especially like just having a conversation about life, and trying to get people to realize that, this world that we live in, even though like there, a lot of crap happens, right? A lot of bad things happen, but there is a good side to it. There are beautiful things about this world that we can't forget, right? Just sit down, go outside, to go for a walk, and just look at a tree, just look at a bird, and sometimes you could just look at an ant if you want, and just look at the beautiful things that God has created, the beautiful things that God has given to you for us in this world that we live in, right? That these are the things that we need to start focusing on, even though they are small, and we should be grateful for those little tiny things, right? That give us the chance to be here on this planet, to live and breathe, right? And that every day we get this opportunity to wake up in the morning and to experience life, right? And to be able to take those steps along our journey, and yes, sometimes it's not going to be that smooth, and we're going to go through some tough times and stuff, but remember, there are times where we can be happy, where they're good times. We have some beautiful moments in our life, right? Am I right? There have been moments that we have told ourselves that, wow, life is great, you know and then it's going to happen for you in the future as well. There are like, I know that set like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when I was lying on that couch, that all of this was going to be here for me, right? That I was going to be able to have my own YouTube channel and talk to you beautiful people right now about all these beautiful things about life. And no, I didn't. I had no idea. I didn't even picture it in my mind that this was going to be my reality, right? But it is now, right? And that's why, I try to encourage people to let them know that you can make changes in your life, that positive changes that can happen. That is there a light after the darkness, at the end of the tunnel? Yes, there is. There is. I am telling you, right? But in order for you to see that light, to get there, is you have to start loving yourself, and you have to start taking care of yourself. Do whatever it takes so that you can become better every single day, right? And that's when that inner voice starts to come into play, is when you get the power to choose which of the thoughts are going to make a difference in your life. And when you start to realize that you do have that control to make that decision, to start pushing away those negative thoughts and start focusing on those positive thoughts that are going to change your life is going to change. It is guaranteed that your life is going to change in a positive way because you are thinking more positively. You are listening to the voice that's telling you that everything is going to be okay. You don't have time to listen to the negative chit chattering that's happening behind the scenes anymore because you have so much focus on working on a better version of yourself, right? Wow, oh my now my voice is starting to get dry. Oh my gosh. Now after the 2-hour mark, that's when I realized like, oh my gosh, I think I need to drink something, right? Natalie, I hope after you're done with this live, you enjoy your dinner and take care, Roger. Have the best rest ever and know you we truly appreciate your kindness. Thank you so much. I am definitely gonna have my coffee, right? Right, for Hana knows I love my coffee. I am definitely going to maybe eat. There's a ton of spaghetti downstairs. Hey Natalie, I'll take a picture of my spaghetti that my mom made and I'll send it to you because she is an amazing cook and she loves to cook and she always comes over and cook, right? Cook. So I'm gonna show you her spaghetti. I'm gonna eat that again because there's just so much of it. For Hana, does your coffee cup make you smile every time? It does. I think about my coffee cup like before I go to bed, when I wake up in the morning, before like okay, I think about you guys first, and then after I think about you guys, I think about my coffee. Okay, because my coffee makes me smile. My coffee makes me happy because I believe that is truly the best invention ever. Okay, it's better. Coffee is better. It's better invention than it is the car. I think. I believe because it really helps me. Helps a lot of people actually. So thanks for beautiful encouraging word, Roger. Thank you. You're very welcome. I'm still here listening to you because you're amazing. Joanne is still here. I love you so much, Joanne. I'm so glad you are here. Can I message you later tonight, Joanne? I just want to make sure, we didn't get a chance to talk much, so I will message you, Joanne. And Rita, of course, if you're still here, Rita, I love you too so much. I love you guys. I love all of you guys. I love you guys. So remember, so my podcast number 2 for Your Mind Matters is happening soon. Anxiety and depression is not the end. I don't even know what episode I'm at like now. I think like 17 or 18. I got to film that. And then my next live again on Facebook is going to happen either on Friday, Saturday. And my next live for YouTube is going to probably on Sunday and again Monday. If Monday works for you guys, if you think that Monday is a good day, maybe I'll have my YouTube lives on Monday, right? Instead of, doing back-to-back lives, from Facebook and YouTube. Just let me know. And if anybody ever has to message me, you can message me on Instagram if you're following me on Instagram, or you can message me on Facebook. And I'll try to respond to you as fast as I can. Okay, guys. So okay, I can't wait to see your greatest food. It is super great. Oh my gosh. Okay, and maybe I'll make you jealous this time, Natalie, instead of you making me jealous. All right. So I will catch you guys all later. I'm gonna see whoever's on the chat here. Sai and Natalie and Kaylee and for Hana and Rita, Joanne, and who else do we have in chair? And all the people, Jennifer. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Esmeralda left. I think she left. And Kenya was here. I don't know if Kenya's still here teaching her pupils. You guys are so awesome. I'm gonna catch you next live. The sound worked okay this time, right? So I think the setup is good, and the video, it was kind of smooth. It was good, smooth. Today's live went well, right, guys? So I think the setup is good. I hope the lighting is good too. I just, I'm trying to make my production, get better and better as each live I do. So see, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to make things. I'm trying to even make my lives look better. So yeah. All right, guys, I will catch you next live. And thanks again for joining my lives. I love this YouTube live. It's just one of the best things that has happened. Besides, my Facebook lives are amazing too. I can't put that. That's just so amazing. You guys are so amazing. Thank you again for everything that you do for me, sharing my quotes I hope that you were able to learn something valuable today, and you're able to take whatever I said today and bring it forward with you for tomorrow and the next, for all your tomorrows. So you can start working on that better version of yourself, so you can get better and better and better each day, so that you can climb that chart and be at the top, right? And then when you're at the top, you can still become better because you just never know how great you can become. So you just think about that, right? Just work on yourself every single day, every single day. And don't forget, before you go to bed tonight, ask yourself, did you do enough? And that's going to make a difference because that's just exercising yourself, training your mindset, right? To remind yourself, okay, I need to do more. I didn't do enough today. So tomorrow I'm going to do more, right? And the more you challenge yourself, and the more you work on yourself, you're just gonna feel different about yourself. You know, your self-confidence is gonna kick back in. You're gonna start believing in yourself more. All these changes are gonna start happening, and you're just gonna feel this momentum happening. Trust me, man, this momentum, this positive engine that I talk about, when it starts to move, you are going to be on that same train as me that's going 300 miles per hour, right? So I will see you there on that train, and we're going to move together on this train, and we're going to just, become great, super, super amazing. Your life is going to change. Okay, guys. 2:45 here in the UK. Oh my gosh, Joanne, you need to sleep. Okay, maybe I'll message you tomorrow because I know you probably need to sleep. So, Regine, you are here too. I'm so sorry. You are here. See you again, Regine. Thank you so much, everybody. And I will have a super great dinner because my mom cooked it for me, and it is super fantastically delicious. And again, I need to practice for if I'm going to sing for you guys on next weekend, right? So okay, so I am going to see you next live, guys. Probably on my next Facebook Live, all right, guys? So remember, guys, if you need to message me on Facebook Messenger or on Instagram, and I will catch you next live. Oh, Belinda, have a great and amazing rest of the day. Kisses and hugs. Sending you lots of loving kisses, Belinda. Thank you for coming to my live. Okay. That's a great idea, Roger. Chat together. Yes. And remember, if you do want to come live with me, okay, on my next live, message me and I will hook everything up. All right. I think I know how to do this. All right. I think we're going to have a super fun time. All right. It's going to be another party, an RLQ party here again on YouTube next week. All right, guys. I will catch you next live, guys. I love you guys so much. Bye. See you soon. And Natalie, I will send you that photo of my mom's spaghetti. Okay. Bye, guys. I love you guys so much.